Local Outbreak with IPMNation.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. This is Matt Connarton from IPMNation.com bringing you another week of great New Hampshire-based music. And we have a lot of discussion this week, so my guests, I've got two of them featured in this interview that we're going to share with you tonight. One of them is Preacher Mafioso, a fantastic artist from Manchester, New Hampshire, by way of Nigeria. He's an immigrant. And we had him on the show. It was at the beginning of when COVID-19 was really getting underway, because that's how we measure time now. Actually, that came up in a conversation we were having after the interview. But yeah, Preacher Mafioso, or Yoso as we call him for short. He's got some new music. His album is done and it's out, and we're going to play his brand new single in just a moment, or new-ish. It's been out for a little bit, but not for very long. And also we were joined by Raspy Why Do You Ask Me, who is Yoso's cousin and an artist himself, and he's got an album coming up in November, toward the end of November. So we'll be having him on for a separate conversation. But when the time comes, so, probably pretty soon, actually, because it's almost November now. But we had a very long conversation. Not only did we talk about music, but we talked about race and social justice issues as well, because, they are immigrants who are in America from Nigeria, and it's very interesting to get their perspective on a lot of things. So we're not going to be able to fit the entire interview into this week's edition of Local Outbreak, so make sure you stick around, listen to the very end, because at the end of the show, I will tell you how you can get access to the entire conversation online for free. I'll give you a hint. It will be posted at a website address that I give on the show every week. Well, I'll just tell you now, IPMNation.com/Local Outbreak, because that's where we archive everything related to Local Outbreak. But what we're going to do is we're going to open up this week's show with the new single from Preacher Mafioso, great track called Oh My God. And then when we come back, we'll dive right in to our discussion with Preacher Mafioso, Raspy Why Do You Ask Me, and a few other people who were in studio with us. It was a really, it was a deep conversation. We got into a lot of stuff, but here we go. This is Oh My God from Preacher Mafioso.
She done here for the month, thinking about the things she done. And I found the income. Oh my gosh, she give me like, oh yeah, dance for the Lord, for the Lord. Check me, a minute for minute, then looking lost. Every other night I cry. Oh my God, would you make a dog? Different from the other girl with the phone bus. But the many men with the one that show love, but there be no company when they put the gun bus. Bad janties along my daddy. Love before I buy, I go ride Ferrari. Shopping spree with the family. Plus many people when they get salary. Oh my God, it's been you all my life. Oh my God, it's been you all my life. Oh my God, it's been you all my life. Oh my God, it's been you all my life. Listen. Yes, it's true that I love you. Yes, it's true that I trust you. And it's true that I hurt you. You know that I please no one above you. Yes, it's true that I love you. Yes, it's true that I trust you. And it's true that I hurt you. But you know that I please no one above you. You make the praise go up. With the blessing shower life raid. I know I did you a lot wrong, but you never let me down. Just steady, you the gun do. Oh, you make the blessings go up. Singing the solo but where say I know I did a lot wrong, but you never let me down. Was I know but you did always come through. Oh my God, it's been you all my life. Oh my God, it's been you all my life. shock like a cocoa, bro. What you defeating me? You the grass me. Chevy, now you love, I go one for love. And the shock like a ghost, bro. Now you love 'em when they make me dance. With your shipping, now you love, I go one for love. And the shock like a ghost, bro. And now you love 'em when they make me dance. With your shipping, now you love, I go one for love. I need a shock like a ghost, bro. You love 'em when they make me dance.
Local Outbreak with IPMNation.com.
All right, welcome back. It's Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet and IPM Nation. Matt Connarton from IPMNation.com, and we heard the brand new, well, like I said, it's relatively new, oh my God, new track from Preacher Mafioso. Let's dive into the conversation now. There's several of us here. So our main guest was Preacher Mafioso, but he also brought his cousin, who is also a Nigerian immigrant, Raspy, Why Do You Ask Me? And yes, I do at some point ask him to spell that. But we were also joined in studio by my partner, Jenny, as well as Kenny and Trudy, who are owners of a great business in downtown Manchester called The Hop Knot, which is a pretzel bar, and they have craft beer and whatnot. It's a great place. So we were all together in the studio for really a wide-ranging conversation, and it's about much more than just music. And like I said, you won't hear the entire thing in this episode of Local Outbreak, but you'll have to go online to get the whole conversation because there's so much that we talked about. But this is the first part of it. So take a listen, enjoy, and who knows, you might even learn something. Our conversation with Preacher Mafioso on this week's Local Outbreak. Preacher Mafioso, oh my God, is the name of the track. How are you, my friend? It's good to see you.
I know, it's been like forever.
Yes,
Jesus Christ.
Yes. And then you said something to me in an email that surprised me, that you had just come back from a protest.
Yeah.
Was it in Boston?
Yeah, it was in Boston. It was yesterday. It was a protest against police brutality. And we're all a lot of Nigerians were there because right now there's a rancor going on in Nigeria where there's been loads of injustice and also police brutality. So I think it got to a point where the young people got tired because there's been crazy killings, illegal arrests, extortions, and all that. And they've been crying for a while now. And it seems like the government isn't doing anything. So it got to the point where the youths were like, you know what? We're done. We're fed up, and we're taking our country back. So so this process has been going on globally.
Yeah,
you understand. In London, here in America, all across Europe, and funny enough, most celebrities here in the States as well. They've been tweeting, even Tyler Perry and all of them. So recently, too, Twitter just gave the movement. Just like the Black Lives Matter, right? Twitter just gave the movement its own emoji, just like they did with Black Lives Matter, because it's been trending over millions of hashtags.
Yeah.
So the protest was an extension for the Rhode Island was yesterday, Boston was yesterday, and I was there. Most of the Nigerians and my cousin too, Raspy, he was there, and the whole family to show support and coordinate basically, because it's something that's really has to stop.
Yeah.
And it can only stop if we speak out.
It's interesting. Yeah. We, us Americans, I mean, we tend to, at least I tend to assume, well, this is not necessarily a problem everywhere. It's a problem in the United States, obviously. But, and then that's what surprised me about your email. You know, it's like, it never occurred to me that this is a problem everywhere, but it is, you know?
It is. It's a global injustice. It's a global issue as far as humans set foot on this planet.
Yeah.
Go back to the Bible times where you had Cain and Abel, two brothers, one killing the other. Just, so it's always been part of the human society. But what makes it different is your ability to be able to speak up to effect a change.
Yeah.
So when you cannot, it's like even between two friends, one person offends the other, and you feel like if the relationship is not, it doesn't have an atmosphere where you could tell your buddy and say, yo, I don't really feel good about what you did and stuff. If you can't do that, then that's a toxic relationship. Likewise, the government. If the government acts a certain type of way that's not consistent with what a government should act like, definitely people should be able to speak up.
Yeah.
And when you can't speak up, then that's a toxic government, and that's what we've been seeing in lots of countries. Not only Nigeria. Right now, I heard there's another African country that's following suit. People are just tired of being oppressed by the people that's supposed to protect them.
Right.
So Black Lives Matter we're still doing that, and also this is Africa, which is the highest and the biggest, most populated black country in the world.
Yeah.
It's when you think of black people as a race, you think Nigeria, because over 200 million people in one country. It's the biggest. And Nigeria dictates the tune or the tone of the black race as far as Africa is concerned. Even here in America, you understand. So, so it's just something that had to happen, and I'm glad it's happening. 2020 has been a phenomenon. Yeah, good side and on the negative side as well. So I'm happy this is happening. It's been a long time coming.
Absolutely. We're also now joined in the studio by Trudy from the Hop Knot. How are you, Trudy?
I'm not prepared, so thank you.
You seem
you're kind of prepared,
all right
except for I don't think the headset's going to work in your eyeball there.
No, you're right. Just gotta get my.
Well, but
They can see that.
well,
Unleashed.
but the headphones are near her ears.
No,
there
it was
we
in
go.
her eye.
There we-
Yeah.
Was in
There
her
we go.
eye.
Practicing a new technique, absorbing through the eye.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
right. Yes.
Does it work?
I'll get back to you on that one.
All right, let me know.
yeah.
I got the hearing aids, so we can switch it up a little. That might work.
So,
Oh, I did
Trudy,
that.
this is Preacher Mafioso over here.
How you doing?
Hi, nice to meet you.
So he's not only a very talented musician, he's been on the show before, but he's an immigrant from Nigeria.
Awesome.
So I thought it'd be
How you doing?
be pretty
Hi, how are you?
interesting to
Yeah, I'm
get
well.
his perspective. And
Yeah.
that's his cousin Raspy,
Yes, sir.
who's
Nice to meet you.
also a musician.
He's a musician.
Okay,
too.
yeah. We'll have to talk with him in a bit as well. But Kenny, did you have, because you're I forget that you're an immigrant too, because you're Canadian, and I think of, did I already do the it's just Northern Michigan joke
I don't know.
with you?
Say it again.
Really?
I don't know if I should. I just think of Canada as being like Northern Michigan. I don't think of it as like another place.
I just met somebody from Canada at the bar the other day, and he said the exact same thing.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell from the shirt he was wearing, and
Yeah.
I was like, "I've been there in Michigan before. It's dope." And then I told him I was Canadian, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we get along great with Canada." And I was like, "I'm sure you do."
Yeah.
Because they all have the same people. I had other people from Chicago,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Your accent sounds so nice. Like it's so familiar."
Yeah.
And right now, Canada's like, go away, America. Come back in a month, and we'll check you out again.
Yeah, we're not allowed in.
We're not allowed in.
Yeah, you can't. We're not. Are we allowed anywhere at this point?
No, actually, no, I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
Maybe Turkey.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe Turkey. Yeah.
Europe is pretty much completely gone for us. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think of who's done worse with COVID than us at this point.
Nobody.
Nobody. Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
We're
Nobody.
still taking
Nobody
the
has
lead.
done worse.
Well, you know what they say: if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. So we're just we're not fooling around. We're gonna spread that COVID. We have a president who has super spreader events.
Yeah. How real is that? This is the only thing you see in movies.
Right.
Well, it's happening in real life. So that's what's up.
Is that your documentarian?
Yeah, it's my cousin as well, Noma. Yeah, he.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, he's into movies, and he did filming and directing in University of California, right? Yeah.
Oh, very good.
So he has some movies, like indie movies, and he shoots videos as well.
Oh,
The
okay.
song you just played, oh my God, he shot the video.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
and
was-
Raspy, all his videos too. They've been doing music before I came to America, because they were the first the first set that came in 2004.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because I remember when you were on the show before, you were talking about you had family who was already here, who is already really active creatively. Yeah. And it's so cool too that, and I know we talked about this, that we live in an era where, you know, with the, I was saying to Jenny earlier, you know, God bless technology. It was the other day, a conversation we were having about that, where, you know, and especially with COVID, you know, we're so lucky in a way that this has all happened at a time when we have all this technology.
Yeah.
If this had been 20 years ago or even 10 years ago, you know, this would be a much harder thing to deal with. All of this. I mean, you know,
we wouldn't have had the situation where we were even more aware.
Right.
I mean, the reason why there are so many people who are now saying something is the video of George Floyd.
Right.
Woke a lot of people up.
Right.
You cannot watch somebody be murdered for, 8 minutes.
Yeah.
On and then walk away from it like you just watched, some kind of goofy, funny video. It was powerful and palatable, and people couldn't ignore it.
Palpable.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I could taste it too.
Well,
how much hate everybody started with, but
oh yeah.
But the organizations, like, you go on at night when the protest starts, and I turn on, because there's too many there's so many video feeds, but there's a few of them that will have like multiple feeds from all over the world.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't even have a word to describe watching that, seeing that. And that's because now we share information in a split second. Yeah. Nobody can keep it from you. The public gets information out there before the police have even shown up on scene.
Yeah.
People are getting that information raw and unfiltered.
Well, you and I are old enough to remember when Rodney King happened in L.A., which, what was that, 90? Was it, or 91? I think it was 91.
93?
Might have been.
I'm not sure, but it was the early 90s.
Very early 90s, and at that time it was, somebody with a camcorder who happened to see this going down and was able to record it. But now, we live in an era where...
wasn't enough.
But now we live in an era where everybody can take pictures and video on their phones.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is at the forefront more than it's ever been, because, you're not going to get away with anything. But it also speaks to the systemic racism, where you look at what happened to George Floyd as an example of, Chauvin, for some reason, and this is what I say to people who say, well, obviously, I mean, 99%, maybe 99% of police are doing a good job. I don't know. I don't know what the percentages are. But obviously there's some sort of problem if a guy in Minneapolis assumed that he could think about it this way. He just assumed. He just did what he did to George Floyd.
An assumption,
with him and his cohorts in broad daylight, knowing he was being recorded, under the assumption that it would be fine, that he would just get away with it. No, he can just do that, and it's documented, and it's fine. So that to me...
And no amount of begging from the people around got him to stop.
And he knows they're recording, and he still did what he did. Which,
he had a grin on his face.
And that's what I always say to the people who say,
his hands in his pocket too.
Yeah,
cool.
And I've always thought that the reason for that was that he was pushing down. I think he was pushing his leg down
to get leverage,
to hold him. That's why I think that hand never came out of the pocket.
Yeah.
And like obviously that was true, because the reaction of others around it, the people that should have cared, were nothing.
The other officers,
the EMS.
The EMS. Nobody even talks about that part. Those the EMS who showed up, and they just barely were even concerned, and then they just throw him on that stretcher like he's a bag of garbage.
I could never imagine acting like that on a scene. I don't know anybody that would stay in the field acting like that towards a patient.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
Right.
Period.
Right. But that's why, too, when because I have these conversations with people who say, like, well, we didn't used to hear about this. Why is everybody getting so worked up about it now? It's because now we can actually see what goes on.
Yeah, sure.
But I think some people too, and I'm not trying to defend their ignorance in any way, but I think some of the people who I hear say that, they're older and maybe they don't quite get it. That, like they're technophobes very often. Like somebody like my dad's age who maybe just doesn't understand. Look, we have all this technology now that
reports these things in real time as it happens. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. But I was curious to ask you, Kenny. I mean, in Canada, is because I like I said, and I acknowledged my own ignorance on this. I hadn't really thought about this in other countries, but I mean, what is the climate there with police in Canada, would you say?
I'm really only Canadian by like paperwork. I grew up in the States, but even just from
I want to see your no, I'm just kidding.
do you care to speak for the entire country of Canada?
Are we sure? I want to see your original birth certificate.
Yeah. Yes.
You're not really from Canada, are you?
I'll call my mom. She got it on file at the house. But I think police violence is a problem that we see all over the world, because even with us and our family, we've had family that's been in the countries that our family's from. We've had family members that were beat by the police. Like it's not an American thing. It's not a white or black thing. It's a police thing all over the place.
Yeah.
As we're seeing now in Nigeria with all this stuff coming, because this is stuff that I'm just learning about now too, because of how much movement it's getting on social media is ending SARS.
Oh, you that's what's up. He knows what time it is.
I was like, I see all these things, and like now this is the next thing that's coming up is people talking about SARS, and I think it's important for us to see these things because we're seeing that it's not just an American problem. Like this isn't only happening here, and it's they're very similar. They mirror each other a lot, and now going back to technology, now we have a way where we can spread this information so quickly. Like we can get live footage from Nigeria of things happening just through Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah,
people get to see it before it gets taken down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the key. You can't sugarcoat the public. You can't hide it. You can't have a whitewashed, to use a language, a whitewashed story out in the public when the public is the one supplying the story.
True.
They're the ones getting it out there and saying, this is not okay. And that's basically what we had to have happen, but it's still not enough when you think about the fact that Rodney King was 15 years ago? And
no, more than that.
More than
close
that?
to 30 years now.
And thank you.
You forget how old we are.
Stop bringing I don't like you. I don't like you. Meanie. No, I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry. Yeah.
Where was I?
But the great thing about video, though, maybe this is where you were going. The great thing about video is, it's you can't spin it. I mean, I guess you can if you edit it, but you really can't. Like if you show someone a video of something that's happened, like with George
Fox
Floyd.
News
Well, it's crazy though.
Spins George Floyd.
They do that all the time.
They took that video and spun it all kinds of directions.
I
don't even think they turned it into a damn
video
talk.
was taken. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then Breonna Taylor. What's the media do? Here's the footage. This footage while her body is still in her house. So they can't figure out how to spin that one. So where do they spin it? Oh, she had to be a drug addict. She had to be a drug dealer too. She was a bad person. The heck with her. She was an EMT.
I know. Yeah, absolutely.
The only difference between her and I is our skin color for the job professions that we have.
Bless you.
She's sitting there in the middle of her living room, dead, dying. A first responder. This is what drives me insane about Breonna Taylor's. We have a situation where a first responder is suddenly no longer part of the family.
Right.
Used to be first responders, police, fire, EMS. Yes, we're a big family of first responders. Not anymore. Apparently not. Apparently being an EMT, you're not a first responder. You should wear and even in a black uniform, that's no guarantee either, because if you are a black man out of uniform, you better be careful. You'll get shot. Even if you are a cop, you'll get shot. You'll be the one that they shoot. You're trying to stop a situation. Because that's happened. We've had black men lose their lives because they tried to stop a bad situation.
Right. Yeah.
And they got shot in the process. Like they were the ones that were the aggressor.
Yeah. Trudy, you've been quiet. Do you have any... you haven't been here in a while. I know sometimes it takes a while to get back into the groove.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of this touches on this conservative movement that is happening globally. And like in Canada, for example, we just visited there, what was that, like 2 years ago? And we had a great conversation.
That's funny because
within our own family.
Kenny made it sound like he never goes to Canada anymore.
Why were you what happened on paper? Only on paper.
That's why we need to see the certificate, right?
And I think Canada, at least where our family is, we had a great conversation about it. They feel differently. I think it's a generational thing. They're also immigrants to Canada from Hungary. So yeah, I can see their perspective and why they would have their opinions.
Yeah.
But conservatism is moving around the world. I don't know if it's because of Trump, but it's been there. It's been simmering.
Right.
And we're seeing it prop up now everywhere because it's around the world where people are attacking poor people in the sense that they are the burden on society when it's just a facet of how we operate.
Right. Do you remember when Pope Francis became Pope and he actually had the temerity to come out and say, I think we should actually care about poor people. And
Yes.
And white evangelical Christians everywhere lost their minds. Like, he thinks we should care about poor people? What kind of a man of God is this?
And then he backed it up with action and took away all the shinies.
Yeah, that's
He
true.
took away all the shine. Oh, you losing that? You give up that mansion. You turn that into a
Yep.
school right now.
Yep.
Get back and that was the best thing ever. I thought
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Yeah.
It's like the closest thing that I've ever seen to a real man of God,
Yeah.
in my opinion, because he's actually like doing stuff.
But people went nuts. They got mad at him about it. It's crazy. Yeah.
Good reason not to be in that Catholic spirit.
Easy.
But I don't
But
I don't want
I
that
get to say
discussion
it. I get to say it.
distract from, this movement of Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
And what it's going for, which is ultimately, right, to move our laws into a position where everybody has an opportunity to a fair trial.
Yeah.
We're presumed innocent until guilty. That should be for all of us.
Right.
But we
Man
need to
or
totally
woman.
revamp everything. The whole judiciary system is broken.
Well, did you watch
Horribly.
any of the hearings for what's her name again?
Barrett?
Amy? Yes.
Yeah, some of them.
Oh, Amy Coney Barrett. Yeah.
Yeah.
What caught your
little bit.
attention?
Okay, so she's an originalist, and she was touching upon the fact that there are progressive originalists.
What is an originalist?
They take the context of that time of the text.
Yeah. The original intent of the Constitution.
Right, like literally what was George Washington thinking about when he
Yeah.
okay,
contextual.
okay.
Which is scary to me.
Right.
right.
Okay.
And that they just the language that they continuously used, the Republicans were united in what they were trying to accomplish, and they used their time, I think,
Yeah.
very well to push their agenda. And it was just very intriguing to hear her answer when I think it was a senator from Delaware, asked her how she felt and how her family dealt with seeing the George Floyd shooting because she's adopted 2 children from Haiti.
Oh, right.
And I respected her answer because she's a parent. I'm a parent. Like,
Yep.
no matter what, we're both raising the next generation of children. So, I'll show her that respect in that regard.
Sure.
It's a good formulated answer, but if she gets that nomination, that's when we'll really see, what
Yeah.
is her integrity as
Yeah.
a judge.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen. She's going to be confirmed. I mean, there's just nothing to stop it. There's no possible way to stop it now. I mean, it might even probably be this week, actually, I think. I mean, they're going to...
It's awful.
They're gonna
This
wanna
is
get
so
this done.
wrong.
It's been really interesting to watch her, though, because for me, because I'm only 26, so this is the first time that I'm really getting to see, a Supreme Court, nominee really go through it, because with Kavanaugh, it was all sexual assault allegations. That's all
true.
it was, and it's easy to beat down on somebody when it's something like that, but now for this, they actually had to talk policy with her.
Right.
They had to talk about all of these things, so it's, been interesting, and, for me, just watching her do her thing, she's been handling it really well.
She
and
has.
it kind of makes me think because the same thing happened with Obama right at the end of his second term, and then the Republicans kept holding it off and
Yep.
holding it off and holding it off. That way he couldn't do it, and then Trump got to appoint the nominee instead. And now here I am thinking, well, why don't the Democrats do the same thing to this lady? Just push it off
Because
until
they can't.
I know, and now I'm like, man, this
They don't
makes
have
me
the votes
think,
to do it.
But it also makes me think, if I really want this to be a fair process, why would I
that-
want?
yeah,
why would I want that to happen?
yeah.
I don't think any
Everyone's gonna
president-
make it right, basically.
exactly. Yeah.
No president should be seating 3 Supreme Court justices. That's just too many by one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that the thing that really gets me about her, that has me worried, is she has a very extreme Christian belief, And I'm not against somebody's religion. However, when your religion says that you're subservient to your husband, that you are their helper and not in charge, well, when you go home at night and talk about your day, if your husband says you're going to do X, not Y, is she going to, is her vote going to be her vote or his? Who's actually going to be making that full decision when it comes to something about women's rights, or when it comes to now we're having gay marriage go back in front of the Supreme Court again, and now we're seeing, the ACA, the protection for people with pre-existing conditions to go away. What does that mean for people like me? Like, what does that mean exactly? It in her belief system is extreme. It's an extreme form of Christianity. And I worry that could filter its way into our Supreme Court. And that just is too concerning for me. If your beliefs tell you that somebody else can tell you how to do everything, that should kind of be, maybe we shouldn't have you judging the world. Because that's our world, judging in the Supreme Court.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget that, what we do here in the U.S., people around the world are watching, like you guys were talking about earlier, right? Your ties with your family back home. The world saw when we had Obama as president. I know in Papua New Guinea, where our mom is from, they were so pumped about that, to see that, because where they are, yes, they do have black leaders. It's a predominantly black country. It's also full of corruption. And but for them to see in the United States of America a black president that was powerful around the world, not just in the United States. So we do, this might be the veteran in me talking, but I believe we do have a responsibility, because we are setting the stage for not just American children, but children globally, around the world.
Yeah.
And, absolutely.
Local Outbreak with IPMNation.com.
You're tuned in to Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. And here's more of our conversation with Preacher Mafioso and Raspy Why Do You Ask Me from Manchester, New Hampshire. Some great musicians from Manchester by way of Nigeria here on this week's Local Outbreak.
The thing with the George Floyd's case, where it kind of sounds like I have a lisp or something.
That's all right. We got him too.
Oh yeah,
we both got it. We both got it, so we good.
Okay,
you in company.
It's the corona.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're good.
It's the processors on the mics.
With the guy, with the officer, right, doing that and maintaining his cool at the same time, to me, what could have prompted that was, that's not the first time it's happening. It happened with Eric Gardner, I think, in New York.
Yep.
Where I can breathe. Guess what? He died. Guess what? The cops went away with it. Like, nothing happened. So he felt like, why should I be different? Because guess what? Those were the only scenarios, one of the few scenarios that was recorded. There's a lot of them that weren't recorded. We didn't get to see. Yeah. But the cops, they know about these things because they have a community, right? And it's a norm. That's he made it as much as a norm as just chilling at the bus stop, waiting for the bus and sipping coffee or latte. Basically, you understand. So that so where the problem is, it's not the fact that this thing can happen, but what are you doing about it?
Right.
I've been in the States for 7 years. This is not the first protest. Neither would it be the last. So there's the symptom and there's the cause. When you keep treating the symptom and you don't take care of the cause, guess what? It's going to happen again. Right. So we keep taking the symptomatic approach. Next minute, they kill another black man. God forbid, it's not me. It's not him. It's not him. It's not any one of us here. God forbid it doesn't happen. But if it happens, guess what? It's going to be another protest. Right? And they send all the National Guards and all whatnot, and they quell it down. People lose their lives, properties, and all that. But that doesn't address the issue. Yeah. Tomorrow, there will still be the same issue. So how about we take care of it from the causative aspect? Now, I love how you said this thing, like, from a global perspective, how America sets the template for the rest of the world. When Obama became president, I wasn't even in the States. But trust me, there were parties, there were carnivals in Nigeria. No, right? Wow. Yeah, they were. Jesus Christ! I I never saw such celebration when even a favorite president in Nigeria wins the presidency.
Wow.
But we had that in Nigeria. So it reinstated faith in every young black person.
Yeah.
Regardless of where you are. Like, if you can do it, then you can do it. You understand? But I wasn't in America to really see how all that panned out until I think the second administration when I came to America. So so with the Black Lives Matter, we've all been trending this Black Lives Matter, blah, 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 da, 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 here in America. And I'm happy we're doing that. And the rest of the world is tapping from that energy. Mm-hmm. And that's why you see what's going on in Nigeria right now. This is not, SARS has been instated, like the name of the police group was like a SWAT. It's SARS. It was put in place in 1984. It started degenerating as the years went by until it is what it is now. Cops just show up. If they see you with dreads, oh, you're a criminal. Nigeria is one of the only countries where you're walking on the street and the cops want to see your phone. If you can't show them your phone, you can get shot dead in the streets.
Really?
Yeah. You understand? If you got tattooed, that's the problem. I live here in America. The moment I show up in the airport, I'm a target. The moment he shows up in the airport, it didn't used to be like that, but that's what it is right now. But when you have a system that tends to just ignore, like, these things don't happen, that's where the problem is. That's my problem with Nigeria and other countries and even in America. George Floyd, what's the reform that happened afterwards? What guarantees that this is not going to happen again?
Right.
I don't know. If you know, tell me. Oh, there's none. So what are we doing? Are we just playing ping pong, or are we just, and these are people, the government is supposed to set the tones. They want us to be law-abiding citizens, but are they making the atmosphere conducive enough for that to trend? They're not.
Yeah.
So when people don't know what to do, they do what they know. The question now is, what do they know? Mm-hmm. You understand? And as a black man, it's what I call microaggression. Yeah. You don't see it. It might sound simple, silly, like nothing at all, but it's micro, so it comes in bits and pieces and becomes a big thing. But when I explain it to you, you might not get it. You're like, oh, Collins, you just scoff. Like, you could scoff about it, like, it's a little. I tell her about it, oh, it's a little. I tell them about it, it's a little. But I'm on the receiving end.
Right.
It becomes humongous, and when I act, they're like, but you see it from a piecemeal perspective. I see it from the receiving end. So as a black man in this country, the stress that I've had to deal with, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like it was back home in Nigeria as well. Why did I come here for a better life? Do I have a better life? Yes, to some point. Better than Nigeria, of course.
Yeah.
But it could be better here.
Right.
Because we could set the tone here. You understand? We could do that if we only want to do it. But the level of hypocrisy, Jesus Christ, is off the roof. I've seen people who see George Floyd losing his life, and the next thing they want to tell you about, why are people protesting? Why are they breaking this? Why are they breaking that? You don't see somebody just died.
Right.
You don't see that. And he's not the first. There's been pictures, and the other guy was trying to go pacify his kids in a car, and he got shot.
Yeah.
He got shot. A white dude, days later, shot somebody in a protest and walked past.
Yeah,
They caught him the next day.
Yeah.
Nothing happened to him. This is
a
deadly. So the function of who's right or wrong is the product of whose side you're on. So if I'm a black guy who's pro-Trump and I say F black people, they're like, yeah, because I'm with the Trump guy.
Right.
And Fox News is like, yeah, this is the guy.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because there's no news in America. News is supposed to report what happens and leave you to the side based on what you've just seen. Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to influence my decision. You're not supposed to tell me Trump is the man. That's not what the news is supposed to do.
Right.
You're supposed to just tell me what Trump did and let me figure it out. CNN is not supposed to tell me Obama is the man. That's not your job.
Right.
Report the freaking news.
Right. Yeah.
Don't filter stuff. And now, like, we're all saying this is a good time because now everyone is a reporter. She has a phone. She's working. She can report that stuff. Back in the day, that wasn't the case. You bring a story. They have to sift it to suit the brand or the image.
What's going to bring you ratings?
Yeah, what's going to bring the ratings?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
If it leads, and if it's not going to. So it's all about the money. But now, no, we're reporting these things. And now people are like, is this really happening? I saw a video. Sorry, I'm just going to say this and give maybe to, if you will permit me, to Raspy.
Sure.
I saw a video of Trevor Noah. He has this guy on the show. I can't remember his name. He does his own thing, going to all these rallies. And he asked the lady, do you think race is an issue in America? And she said, nope. Then she quoted something about QAnon. She said, "There's a conspiracy that JFK Jr. is still alive, and he's with Trump in every rally, behind him, telling him what to do." I'm like, I have a 4-year-old daughter. She won't even believe that crap.
Right.
Do you believe that? She said yes. But you believe race is not an issue in America? She said yes. I'm like, and there's no hypocrisy? And they asked another dude, are you pro-life? Why do you like Barrett? He's like, I'm pro-life. Oh, I'm abortion out. Nah. I'm pro-life. Like, you pro-life? Yeah, that's why you want Barrett? Yeah. Why are you not wearing a mask? And this dude went deflated. He couldn't answer.
Right.
So we choose what truth means to us. You can't choose truth.
Yeah.
You're pro-life when it comes to abortion, but you don't want to wear a mask.
Right. Yeah.
A dude showed up without a mask, and he said, "Why are you not wearing a mask?" Like, I'm not worried, but if my dad was, you should wear a mask. Why? Because it has pre-existing conditions. Like, oh, he does, yeah. Well, you're right here. You might catch it and take it home to him. He said, oh, yeah, that's true. So you don't mind seeing Trump and putting your dad in danger? So what's the hypocrisy we're talking about?
Right,
it's crazy, man.
They're pro-life when it suits them.
Yeah, when it suits them.
It's not suiting them otherwise.
The pro-life people don't like Black Lives Matter, though.
They don't, and it's pro.
Right. Exactly.
Where was the pro-life during slavery? Where was they say all life matters. Where was it during slavery?
Right. You brought up Rhode Island earlier. I mean, look at Rhode Island. They're going to vote in 2 weeks whether or not they can finally get rid of the name of plantations out of their name. Because Rhode Island is technically still, what's the full one?
Rhode Island and Providence Plantation is the full name.
So on the ballot, it's to remove and Providence Plantation, so it would just be Rhode Island.
Yeah.
But legally, right now, the state of Rhode Island still has the word plantations in it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't make that up.
Yeah,
so,
most people don't know that, but yeah.
Well, there's a bunch of them that we were looking at earlier.
Yeah.
But with the Black Lives Matter, I think that the direction they're going with the Breathe Act is the best direction. We need a whole revamp. It can't be just one thing.
Yeah.
You got to change. We have to have a complete change of thought process on what does it mean to protect and serve.
Actual reform.
Protect and serve. Serve, not kill, not be judge, jury, and executioner. But why don't we put more emphasis on what police officers could do right? Getting out in the community. I want the cop to pull over and go play basketball with the kids. I want the two that are walking down the street at Elm Street to stop and talk at the old man that's out in front of the cigar shop. I want them to interact with our society. Get to know us. Get rid of the us and them. Go. You're a police officer for this city, and I'm a city resident. You should be here to help me, and I should be there to support you. And and go in that direction. But we reward our police officers for how many bags they get. How many people did you arrest? How many tickets did you write? Oh, that was a great a civil forfeiture there. You just picked up somebody's house. I mean, that's all New Hampshire could talk about. When the horrible guy out a few years back that killed in Greenland, the guy that killed the police.
I don't remember the name.
The long and the short of it was this guy who did the actual crime was renting a house from his mother. So they tried to actually use civil forfeiture to get the house and the vehicles on the property all away from the mother, even though it was her property. Like, just take it away from her. And because he used his property illicitly, they were trying to take it away from her, take her ownership away. That's all they want is the paycheck. We've trained them to, like, if you want new gear, well, you better arrest a few more people. You better get a few more bank accounts frozen and steal those funds. We reward the negative in our society instead of the positive in our society. We got to stop throwing people in jail for drugs.
Absolutely.
If we could just do those two small things, it would be a start. But we have to change our conversation because we can't keep talking about the same stuff every day. It's not working. And we don't have a president doing that's what we need right now is a president who will actually stand up and say, this isn't okay in our society, and what can I do to help you fix it? That's why we need Biden, because it's the only way we're going to get that conversation. Trump doesn't care. His job, he just sits out there and says, hey, stand back and stand by, man. Hold that gun, get ready. I want you to come shoot everybody, when I tell you to. I can shoot somebody in the middle of New York City and nobody'd care.
Yep.
But also citizens just staying informed, but also not losing courage to stand up and do what they feel is the right thing. Because I feel like there is good and bad. There might be that in between, that gray zone, but, good is good and bad is bad. I think as you get older,
Yeah, but all of our goods are on both sides of the aisle. The good and the bad is two totally different things.
Right.
Our goods are somebody else's bad, and our bads are somebody else's good. So we have this whole moment where, like, it really is like a big, like, there's a huge divide in things. And, like, the more people I talk to about this, like, the more I see it. And I always try to come at things from both sides of things. Like, I have friends that are police officers here in the city that I've known for my entire life. And when I see them out, I'm like, oh, like, that's my friend. Like, he's a great guy. And one of my other friends is like, there's no such thing as a good cop. And I was like, well, I've known you for like a year and a half, and I've known this person for like 15. So, like, I know he's a good person.
Right.
Like, I know that he's one of the good cops. Like,
Right.
You can't tell me that. Like, I know other people that are also like that. And it's like, it's this one or the other. Like, you have to be a bootlicker or you hate the cops.
Right.
There's no in between.
It's that binary thinking that everyone tries to apply.
And like,
to
there's
everything.
no middle ground. So like, I think people from both sides of the aisle, I say this to both sides, like, everybody needs to cool out and like start listening to people and start really hearing what people are saying, because we're not getting anywhere by just shutting the other side completely down.
Right. Well, we should let's say hello to our new friend Raspy, who has entered the conversation. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, man? Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, you and I have not met before today.
No.
Who are you? Tell us about yourself.
I'm Raspy. I am originally from Nigeria. Now I'm an American citizen. I've been in the States for close to 20 years now. And I just moved to New Hampshire like 2 years ago from Massachusetts. Bought a house, raising a family.
Yeah.
I'm doing the mature thing.
Yeah.
But I got to say thank you guys for even having us. And I so much love where the discussion is going, because I think this is a message that needs to be out there, especially with the way the country is right now. So I think we need, like he said, we need to start having discussion about where we want to go with this country, because I don't think Americans understand that they set the benchmark of how the world looks or how the world functions.
Right.
Everybody wants to be an American, whether you like it or not. Everybody wants to go to America.
I think people still want to come to America.
Regardless of how the country is right now or what's going on, like, people do still want to be an American. And it's something that it has been because of, the way America has been portrayed to the world, And I just think and I'm not trying to be political or anything. I'm just trying to talk from
we're very political around here.
Yeah. But,
You're in the right.
I'm just trying to talk from a layman's perspective, so other people could understand where I'm coming from. From someone who came from a country that a country that's supposed to be the biggest country in Africa, the giant of Africa. See how politicians have taken over the country and destroyed it, and coming to this country and now seeing almost the same thing happening. It's giving me PTSD.
Local Outbreak with IPMNation.com.
Hey everybody, it's Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet and IPM Nation. Matt Connarton from IPMNation.com here with you. And pretty deep discussion on this week's show with our guests, Preacher Mafioso and Raspy, Why Do You Ask Me? Also, my partner Jenny joined us, as well as Kenny and Trudy, who are from a great family that owns the Hop Knot, which is on Elm Street in Manchester, a great business that also does a lot to support the local scene. If you want to hear the rest, that was only about half of what you heard of our entire discussion on this week's Local Outbreak with Preacher Mafioso, and in the rest of the conversation we get to know Raspy a little more as well, and his new album will be coming out in late November, so we'll have him on separately to talk with him. But we're going to close out this week's Local Outbreak with another track. This is brand new. This is very new from our friend Preacher Mafioso. And I think given the discussion in particular and what's going on right now in a lot of ways, this is a great way to end this week's local outbreak. But if you want to hear the whole thing, go to ipmnation.com/local outbreak. That's where we archive all the shows, including the extended, unedited versions of the interviews that we do, because it's not unusual to do an interview with a guest and have it go for much longer than we can possibly fit in the time allotted to us during this 1 hour program. So you'll find all kinds of great bonus content there. ipmnation.com/local outbreak. Also, all the contact info for the show is there, our social media and all of that. Also, if you just want to learn more about me and what else I do and how to get in touch with me, mattconnarton.com. And I'll spell that for you, MattConnarton. I'm forever having to spell my last name for people because it is an unusual last name. Although there's only one other Matt Connarton in New Hampshire, but he's my uncle. So does that even count? MattConnarton.com is my website if you want to learn more. And keep up with what I'm doing, and that's got the links to all of my social media. But go to ipmnation.com/local outbreak for the full conversation with our guests this week. And now we will close out. Again, this is brand new from Preacher Mafioso. This is called Black Anthem to close out this week's local outbreak on IPM Nation in 100.1 The Planet.
Judo, 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 jara, judo. Anything with Santa Claus. Judo, 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 jara, judo. Don't be way down one way. Listen. Gone are the days we didn't ever say. Brown skin people, we are driving a race. The different bloodline, but still can relate. The roots, no fruits, power to the youth. I know enough strength, imagine if I could. Stand as a race from voice and truth. You don't need to take my life, but you are right to give my life. Oh, blood and man. Nobody think when they start quarreling with it, cause fight. Behind the competition, there's a can't out. Like it's the rhythm of my bread out. I'm singing better, singing Joe. No be sunlight black in your skin. Listen, brother, man, I job on you ready. So just tell me how we go. Be would you hurt me right now? Would you love me steady? So how you gon' snooze? Rock the boat. How you gon' fade out? How you gon' snooze out? How you gon' fade out? She's them a ring so we can't fit defeat them. I lose when we look through them sheet then. I lose if we life, we are wisdom. Yes, you know, yes, them a shake and be leader. Taking over land and over sea. Many times with the brother dancing. That's when you pass the state of emergency. Emergency, Lord my God. Black with the new black, who with a new dap? Lord my God. Black hat, black crap, black with the new crack. Who are you, Lord my God? Who are you, Lord my God? So God, you Lord my God. So God, you Lord my God. Yeah. So for 64 years. Not self-aware. But for 2 weeks, and I know if you feed the masses, billions, even trillions, and I don't make from fuel for 64 years. My Ghana must go, cause I die, that will be my greatness, keep me my guy. My twin brother die, my proper self back. My people suffer, we know for the do what. Some people get the billion even for yard. They never read, but we know we're safe in my guy. A politician get policeman for yard. Now who go protect, come on man, who we?
Local Outbreak with IPMNation.com.